Keeping the day bright with a good, healthy practice. Welcome. Make sure your mat is up against the wall. And let's begin from Bajasana. Taking a long, deep inhalation and a long, soft, pacifying exhalation. Establish the rhythm of the breath. The hands lifting, the palms pressing together. And from our most sacred space, opening this practice with one more. Inhale. And that's releasing. The eyes opening. And let's begin. Adho Mukha Svanasana, heels lifted and the backs of the heels pressing against the wall. Just make sure that your arms are fully extended, the inner elbows facing forward, and pushing yourselves away from the hands before lowering the head and lengthening the back of the neck. Then looking at your feet, spread the rainbow of the toes. Feel the balls of the feet broaden. Check that the arches of the feet aren't dropping, correct them now. And then with an exhale, press both of your heels back at the same time into the wall and begin to feel the weight of the pose move back. Go with the flow of that moving backwardness, moving towards the wall. The armpits opening, the shoulders opening. And then looking up and stepping the right leg forward to a nice wide lunge. Easing ourselves into movement, rocking back and forth, rolling through that back foot. And then the back knee resting to the ground. Godasana, extreme pigeon pose. Bring the front foot to the middle so that your face is lined up with the inner arch of the foot. Open the leg up. Support yourself with the forearm, and to come in, move the back knee back. And exhale. Keep the flow of the breath present in all of the senses. Let it guide you through the resistances around the pose. And then coming out and changing sides. Left leg forward and rocking ourselves forward and backwards. And then the back knee resting on the mat. Front foot coming to the middle. Extreme Godasana. Be on the outside blade of the foot. Rest on the left forearm, which goes underneath the calf, and then scoop the right knee back, exhaling down. With each exhale, release the flow of tension, go with gravity, melt into it. And then coming out, and back to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Spreading the fingers widely, stretching the arms well, the heels connecting to the wall. Pressing the heels back, lowering the head down. Keeping the front of the throat soft, the back of the neck long. Exhale into the heels. Press the front thighs back. And then looking up and walking forward, feet the width of the mat. Turning the toes in, the heels out, and taking hold of the backs of the legs, pulling ourselves forward and down, Uttanasana. Grounding our steadiness through both of the feet, both of the legs. Let the head hang completely. And then come back out and releasing. Alright, time for Uttita Trikonasana. Outside edge of the left foot against the wall. If you like to use a block, of course, take a block in preparation. Prepare the legs, grip the legs, keep the hips stable and bolt the outer hips. Then stretch the arms, inhale. And exhale, reach, move the hips back and press firmly to the outside edge of that back foot. Coming down, keep gripping the legs. Uttita Trikonasana. When you land in the pose, keep everything firm and alive. Don't let it drop in the sensation of I've arrived. Find the front of your back thigh and press it to the thigh bone, back to the thigh bone. And feel how that then presses down the leg into the outside edge of the foot, into the wall, and what that wall brings to us. Stretch the arms more. And then inhaling up. And changing sides. Outside edge of the right foot against the wall, left leg forward. Adjust the legs, grip, find that firmness, bolt the outer hips. Stretch the arms, inhale. Exhale, reach, and move the hips back. Keep the legs gripped, the outside edge of the back foot firm. Reaching, reaching. And finding Uttita Trikonasana. Now with an exhale, push the front of your back thigh to the thigh bone. And all the way down the leg into the outside edge of the foot. The outside edge of that back heel. And feel the wall pressing back, helping us to turn the trunk, to stretch the arms. And inhaling up. And exhale, releasing. Adho Mukha Svanasana, heels against the wall. We'll be coming to Yoga Puntas, 3 of them. And to upward dog. And downward dog. And upward dog. And downward dog. And upward dog. And downward dog. And then walking forward, feet to the width of the mat. Uttanasana. Look at your feet, make sure the arches are not dropping, that the toes are still spread and spreading, and that you're making the outside edge of the foot useful, purposeful. It's pressing down. And then releasing. Parsvakonasana. Outside edge of the left foot against the wall. And preparing a nice wide stance for a nice lunge. The legs firm, gripping. The outer hips bolting in. Stretch the arms. Exhale, making a square with the front leg. Extending energy out through the back arm, the abdomen following the back arm. Inhale. Exhale, reach, move the hips back and draw the front femur bone into the hip socket. Coming down, placing the hand on the inside edge, fingertips down, left arm to the sky. Use that right arm to press the inner knee of the front leg to the outer knee. And at the same time, press the front buttock forward. Now turn the top arm so the palm faces forward. And exhale the arm over diagonally. Find the front of the back thigh and press it to the thigh bone, and from there down into the outside edge of the foot, into the wall. Feel the wall pressing back, and stretch the top arm, stretch the waist, turn, twist. And then the arm coming back up and out. Changing sides. Parshva. Prepare the legs and stabilize those hips. Bolt the outer hips. Stretch the arms. Lift the spine. Open the chest. Make a square. Energy out through the back arm. And when you're ready, exhale, reach the hips back, the front femur into that front hip socket. As we come down, fingertips to the floor, right arm to the sky. Push that front leg open, and then absorb the front buttock forward. Turn the top arm, and extend. Now flatten the curve of that back thigh, pressing it to the bone and into the outside edge of the foot, into the wall pressing back. Stretch the waist, stretch the arm. And bring the arm back up through Vriyatu and back out and releasing. Adho Mukha Svanasans, Yoga Kuruntas. So Adho Mukha into Urdhva Mukha, 3 of them. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Last one. And then bending the knees and coming down to the mat. Gurukasana 3. Left knee behind right. Widen the feet. Taking a seat. And forward to Yoga Mudrasana. Reconnect with deep, long inhalations and deep, pacifying exhalations. Soften the face, soften the corners of the lips, broaden the shoulders. And then coming back out, staying here. Bring the arms in front, interlock the fingers, and lifting up, Padmasana. And then coming down, remember which little pinky is underneath. We'll be changing on the other side. So changing our Gomukhasana first. Right knee behind the left, widen the feet for Gomukhasana 3, which is the sacroiliac releaser. And then exhaling forward, Yoga Mudrasana, Gomukhasana 3. Keep the arms vibrant, the elbows firm, and the forearms lifting, not melting towards the ground. And use the arms and the hands to help push the hips back. And then coming back out and changing the interlock. Padmasana, Gomukhasana 3. Keep straightening the elbows, lifting up. And then bring the arms back down and releasing. Alright, we're now going to take a strap and come to a cycle of Supta Padangushasanas with our feet against the wall. So getting a strap, making a small loop on it, in it, and leaning back here, lying down on a mat. Okay, lifting the right leg up first and placing that little loop on the foot. Finding Supta Padangushasan 1 with the arms stretched above us. Make sure your left heel is firm and you feel the left thigh rolling in, not rolling out. As you draw the right leg closer, keep resisting with the front of the thigh, pushing it away from you. Dialoguing with that area. And then release the leg a little bit so it's perpendicular. And with the left hand, hold the strap, and then move the strap from the left to the right onto the shoulder blades. Parivrita Supta Padangushasan. Keep the legs firm as you come into the pose, and pull the toes back, pushing out through the balls of the feet. Think of a Parivrita Trikonasana. And stretch that right arm like the top arm of Parivrita Trikonasana and turn the head to the right. Reconnect to the flow of breath. And then bring the leg back out. And exhale. Releasing. Remove the strap and just be in Supta Tadasana for a millisecond. And then left leg. Supta Padangusthasana 1. Establish presence in the right leg. Pressing that right heel down, rolling the right thigh in. And then pressing the curve of the top of the thigh also down. And as you bring the left leg closer, occasionally look at the front of the left thigh to encourage it to really push back, to resist against the leg, over and over again. The entire thigh. And then bring the leg back up and preparing for our Parivrita. The right hand holds the strap which goes underneath the back from the right to the left. Now firm the legs up. They'll want to end. Firm them, the knee joints firm. And entering with full alertness, the toes pulling back, pushing out through the ball of the foot. And then rethinking Parivrita Trikonasana, which brings that importance to the left arm, the top arm of Parivrita. Turning the head towards it and feel how the chest is following that left arm. The abdomen is also following that left arm. And then bring the leg back up. And exhale, releasing. Rolling over to the right, and coming up. Turning to face the wall. Adho Mukha Svanasana, hands against the wall. So making sure your mat is in for full comfort. And in we go. Press the heels down and lift the buttocks up. Check on your neck and your throat. Make sure the back of the neck is really long and the front of the throat, particularly the base of the throat, is soft. Rolling the shoulders away from the sides of the neck. And stretch the arms, pushing into the wall until you feel the wall pushing back at you. What does it add to the pose? What does it bring? And then walking the feet in and finding Uttanasana with our backs against the wall. So the wall helping us to get deeper. So walk the feet right in, micro bend the knees, tuck the chin to the throat, back of the neck long. And then straightening the legs and holding our elbows with our hands. Lengthening the breath again. And then releasing the hands and making our way out. So we're not going to use the wall, but we're keeping the mat where it is for Parastari Prapadottanasana. Nice wide stance with the feet Toes turning in. The inner arches really lifting here. You have to seal the pose with the outside edges of the feet. Now open the chest, prepare the chest, lengthen the trunk, open the chest to the sky, elbows back. Inhale. And keeping that length, exhaling forward, grip the roots of the thighs. Hands down, right underneath the shoulders. Re-grip the knees and the roots of the thighs up. Move the chest forward, inhale. And then exhaling into the second part of the pose. Moving the hands back so that they're in line with the heels. Watch the back of the neck, keep it long. The front throat soft. And then inhale, looking up, hands to the hips, elbows back, coming back out. And turning the heels and the toes and the heels and the toes in until we can step the feet together. Okay, so ready for Shirshasana now. So if you like to use the wall, you're in the right spot. Otherwise, you're just going to put your blanket here and lean back on the mat for that. It's going to be a light one today, just 3 minutes. So preparing the arms first, since they're our base, it's always worth doing this carefully, no matter how many times we've done Shirshasana. Placing the elbows, the forearms, and getting that bracing quality that just builds up over time. Crown of the head to the floor, and straightening the legs. Lifting one leg up, rolling it in like the back leg of Supta Padangusthasana, and then the other leg joining, finding Shirshasana. Connect with the rhythm of breath. Let it guide any jerkiness into smoothness. And keep traveling with the breath. It goes everywhere it wants. Feeling, adjusting, strengthening that which needs to be strengthened. Lifting that which needs to be lifted. And also pacifying that which needs to be softened. Make sure the backs of the legs are firm. And the curvature of the front thighs, of both of them, flattening towards the bone. Preparing to come into Upavishta Konasana in Shirshasana. So we're going to widen the legs apart to a nice V. First of all, rolling the legs open, the heels remaining together, but the feet rolling open, the legs rolling open, the thighs rolling open, and then lowering the legs away from each other. Activate the feet, the toes, and suck the roots of the thighs into those hip sockets. And now we're going to bend the legs and find Baddha Konasana. Press the feet firmly, particularly the outer skirting of the feet, finding each other and pressing against each other. Fold the outer hips. And then extending the legs back up to Shirshasana. Lowering one leg down, keep lifting the shoulders up as we descend. And find Yoga Mudra. Palms facing each other so that the shoulders can really broaden away from the ears. Make sure the back of the neck is long and that the front throat is soft. Now just moving the arms, bring the arms back behind you, interlock the fingers together and lift them up, rolling those front shoulders open. And now invert the hands and turn the palms up to the sky. And then turning the hands back in, descending halfway down, changing the interlock and re-lifting. Keep smiling, keeping the corners of the mouth soft, free of resistance as we try to open those shoulders. And now invert the hands. And then turning the hands back in. And exhale, releasing, finding child's pose. And reconnecting with all of the softness that can come with an exhalation deep in every cell of the body. And then rolling back up. In Vajrasana, just take a few breaths to observe mind state, to take note of what's being experienced, what the mind state is. Yeah, and releasing. All right, a little bit of core work because What would life be without a strong core? So let's move our mat away from the wall, have a blanket maybe for extra support on the lower back, and meet back for that. Here we are. So the blanket, I folded it up, and you just want to check that it really is under your hips, not your middle back, your upper back. I see that a lot. So just not too high, just the area that connects with the core to press down. Arms lifting, thumbs crossing. Urdhva Prasarita Padasana, 90 degrees. Pull the toes back, lengthen the back of the heel, straighten the legs completely, and draw the heads of those femur bones towards the earth. Suck them into the hip sockets, re-stretch the arms. Bending the knees, preparing for 60. Inhale, and exhale. Pull the toes back, but keep pushing out through the balls of the feet. Wrap the muscles around the thigh bones. Feel like kind of a wetsuit contraction action. Press the lower back to the blanket. Soften the throat. And then bending the knees and pushing the legs back up to 90. Keep checking that the back of the neck is staying long. And then bending the knees and the feet coming to the floor and releasing the arms. Resting here for a breath, relaxing the abdomen, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the effort. And now the second half. Lifting the arms back up, crossing the thumbs, re-stretching back. And Urdhva Prasarita Padasana, 90 degrees. Bending the knees and coming to 60. Exhale into it. Bending the knees, coming lower, coming to 30 or as low as you can go, keeping the lower back connected. Bending the knees and coming back to 60. And bending the knees and finishing with a 90. Check in with the back of the neck, front of the throat. And then bending the knees, feet to the floor, and release the arms to the side of the body. Inhale, and with an exhale, completely melt into the ground. Just release, relax, an instantaneous moment of Shavasana. And then rolling over and pushing ourselves back out. All right, time for some forward bends. So we have a blanket. Just turn it to make sure you've got the neat edge of the blanket and move the blanket to the left-hand side of the mat so that we can do a Janu Shirshasana with our bent right leg coming off the corner of the blanket right there, or widening the bones around it. Stage 1. The twisting aspect. And then stage 2, holding the foot and coming forward, Janushirasa. Establish presence through breath again. And then coming out and up. And forward bends are so magical. Notice how immediately the mind state has changed again through the nature of forward bends. So Janushirasa on the left, moving smoothly, honouring that deeper inwardness that comes. And stage 1, the twisting. Gentle twisting with the exhalation. And then reaching forward, stage 2, Janushirasa. Keep connecting with what your neck is doing, what your throat is doing, what the corners of the lips are doing. And then inhaling up and out. Alright, just moving the blanket to the middle of the mat. Paschimottanasana. Make sure that you pull back the sit bones enough that you feel that you're they're being pulled back by the edge of the blanket and hanging off that little cliff. Brings nice openness to the inner groin and thus the inner pelvic girdle. Pull the toes back, walking the hands forward, and as you come forward, re-engage with the top third of the thighs, drawing the heads of those femur bones in continually on your descent. And then reaching for the feet, Paschimottanasana. So gently coming out of that, the hands helping us to walk up, the toes still pulling back, the gaze diffused. And it is now time for our wind down through Savamrasana, Halasana. So getting the blankets, or if you want to do it on a chair, you can do it on a chair, getting whatever it is that you want to use for our Savamrasana cycle and being back on the mat. So I'm taking today blocks for the knees in Karnapidasana, bolster for the feet in Halasana. I've got 4 blankets, and strap for the arms. So of course, inner armpit to inner armpit, and well, let's take a seat and let's place the strap on the arms first. Upper outer arms moving back, collarbones lengthening. Breathe into that shape. Welcome the shape, the inner shape of Savandasana. And then let's come in. And lifting up. Adjusting the shoulders. And then bringing the hands into position on the back. And lifting one leg and the other, finding Savandasana. Hold the toes back and lengthen the backs of the heels, firm the backs of the legs. And even though it may feel hard to breathe, try to establish a smooth, even and rich rhythm. And then lowering one leg to the floor or the bolster behind, and the other leg following. Re-stretch the arms and re-roll the shoulders back. Interlock the fingers. Halasana. Trying to densify the elbows, to press them down as you lift the back ribs up. And now change the interlock of the fingers. Second side of Halasana. And then releasing the hands. And just take the strap off. Put it to the side, bending the knees towards the forehead. And preparing for Kanamakidasan, the knees coming to the blocks. Then wrap the arms around behind the backs of the knees. You just have to pull my blocks in closer. You want them really close to your ears, so that there's this pratyaharic withdrawal of blocking the ears. The eyes also softening. Sweep the tension away from the shoulders, from the throat, from the lips and cheeks. And now change the cross of the arms behind the knees, holding onto the elbows. And then release the arms and bring the arms back. Straighten the legs and unrolling. And then just the blocks to the side as we move back. Once again, checking that the blankets is just underneath the hips, not the middle and upper back. Roll the shoulders back, extend the arms, rest the knees against each other. Deep inhalation, pacifying exhalation. And now, rolling over to the right hand side. Coming up. And yes, it's time for Shavasana. So we can use the bolster under the knees or on top of the front thighs, whatever feels more relevant and important today. I'm going to use it under the knees. And we can use all of the extra blankets on our front thighs and our abdomen if we're using the bolster under the knees for just a little weight. And weight brings pacification, helps the muscles to relax. So, buttocks moving towards the bolster, lower back earthing. Don't have the feet touch, let them each have their own space, so there's no constriction. These blankets are all nice and comfy. Shoulders adjusted so that they can roll back and rest, nothing to hold on to. No tension, no effort. Just complete letting go-ness into the pure blue sky. With an exhale, the eyes closing. Shavasana. Perhaps then with the breath, preparing to roll over to the side, exhaling over onto the right hand side of the body. And then gently coming back out. And we can just take a seat right on the bolsters. Flowing with breath, flowing with gratitude. Gratitude being one of the highest forms of prayer. All peace, peace, peace. How's that releasing coming out? And as always, just taking a moment after practice to connect with mind state, because it's in the noticing that we really begin to see the difference that a practice makes, what it brings to our life, what it brings to the palette of the mind state, because that's what we'll be sharing with others for the rest of the day. So I hope you will let me know how this was for you. I hope you're going to have a fantastic week, and namaste, be well, see you soon.